Hello, you are watching our YouTube channel Goats Troubleshooting. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for future updates. The purpose of today's video is to educate you regarding how important copper is for your goats. Copper for goats. Copper is one of the most important minerals your goats need. You need to be prepared to diagnose if your goat is copper deficient and why and how to get them back to health and keep them there. Do my goats need copper? Yes. Goats need copper, which can be given as a supplement like these copper boluses. And actually, they need more copper than originally thought. Are goats copper sensitive? No. They do need copper to live and function properly. But there is a possibility of copper toxicity, so be sure to read that section down below. How important is copper in goats? Well, it's essential to many factors in the health of your goat. Copper aids in the proper development of bone growth, their central nervous system and the color of their hair. And without copper, the symptoms below will begin to show. What are the symptoms of copper deficiency in goats? 1. Their hair color will change. It will fade, lose its original color, lose luster, and look dull. From black goats to reddish. From red to brownish. From brownish to cream or light brown. From light brown to white or pale yellow. 2. Their tail will lose hair. The tip of their tail will lose hair and look like a fish tail. 3. Hair loss. Bare skin on the face, usually on the bridge of the nose or around the eyes. 4. Parasitic overload. Parasites become hard to contain and are continually a problem. Symptoms of copper deficiency in growing kids. 1. Poor appetite. 2. Insufficient weight gain. 3. Weight loss. Symptoms of copper deficiency in adults. 1. Poor milk producers. 2. Occasional diarrhea. 3. Anemic. 4. Unthrifty, not strong, not able to fight against disease. 5. Difficulty conceiving. 6. Potential abortions. Types of copper deficiency in goats. There are 4 types of copper deficiency. Here's what you need to know. 1. Primary copper deficiency. Primary copper deficiency will become a problem when the levels of copper are low in the soils and the forages you feed them. 2. Secondary copper deficiency. When the copper levels are sufficient in the soil and forages, but there are other minerals that are binding the absorption of copper, this is called a secondary copper deficiency. The minerals that are known as copper antagonists are iron, lead, manganese, cadmium, sulfates, and molybdenum. Secondary copper deficiency tends to be more responsive to treatment than primary copper deficiency. 3. Congenital copper deficiency. When kids do not get sufficient copper amounts when they are in utero, they will suffer from congenital copper deficiency. You will see them born with a sway back, muscle tremors, head shaking, standing unsteadily, and they have low blood sugar and low body temperatures. Sadly, they can commonly have bone abnormalities, and they will not recover because of how they were formed inside the womb. Even if they can nurse, they usually don't live longer than a few weeks. 4. Late copper deficiency. Some kids will display signs of copper deficiency several months after birth, usually around 3 months. This can be shocking because they appeared fine at birth but then begin to show signs of incoordination, leg weakness, atrophied muscles, and tremors. This usually begins to show up in the back legs and they will pull themselves around with their front legs. If they do have issues with their front legs, they will spend a lot of time on their front knees. With a late copper deficiency, they usually die from other secondary problems like pneumonia. And like many goat problems, it can be confusing to diagnose because it mimics other diseases like CAE, listeriosis, or muscular dystrophy. Reasons for copper deficiency in goats are: low copper in soil/forage. As mentioned above, your goats may suffer from a lack of copper because of low levels found in the soil in your area, which results in the grass and hay they eat also being low in copper. You need to know your area to find out if you live in a copper deficient area. Interference with copper absorption. The biggest interference you will probably find will be with your water source. especially your well water. Many times, wells are high in minerals and those minerals can be hindering and binding the copper from absorbing into their body. If you find that your goats are struggling with their health, seemingly for no reason at all, this may be the culprit. No loose minerals out. Loose minerals are so very important to your goat's health. Please know that it is completely ineffective to feed products that are labeled for sheep and goats. Sheep very easily get copper toxicity, and so the products labeled for both do not have near enough copper for goats. Can copper be given to pregnant does? Yes. Pregnant can be given copper. If you wish to see our next video regarding copper bolus for pregnant goats, please comment us. How to give copper to your goats. You can give them in any of the 4 ways written below. 4 ways to give copper to goats. It can be given in 3 ways. 1. Copper glycinate given subcutaneously, SQ. Can be given to newborns as well. 2. Copper sulfate given orally in drinking water. 3. Copper bolus given orally. 4. Loose minerals should always be available, free choice. 5. Full feed should not have more than 15 to 20 ppm of copper. 6. But loose mineral can have as much as 1500 ppm of copper. 7. Test your forage for copper levels before you decide how much copper should be in your feed and mineral packages. What does copper bolus do for goats? Copper boluses are easy to give goats. Copper boluses are filled with tiny copper rods that sink to the bottom of the rumen and are slowly released over a period, usually between 6 to 8 months. Here are 2 ways to give a bolus to a goat. 1. Bolus gun. 2. Like this one, bolus gun. 3. Copper bolus options, copper bolus for goats. 4. The bolus is put into the tip of the balling gun, it is pushed to the back of the goat's throat, and then it is pushed down their throat. This is an easy way to give medicine that keeps your fingers away from their very sharp back teeth. Hidden in a treat. The bolus pill or the bolus ingredients can be put inside one of these options below. Some goats may not like some of the options, but with a bit of patience and strategy, they can learn to like them. Banana, as shown in the video above, this is the option I use. And my goats love bananas. Because I take out every banana peel to my goats, all of them, even the goats who didn't like them to begin with, will fight over them now. Cut the banana into pieces that are at least 1.5 inches long. Keep the peel on. Scoop out half of the banana, open up the bolus and dump the copper rods into the banana hole. Cover with the lid of the banana that was cut out. Give to happy goats. Add in marshmallow. Add in peanut butter. Add in yogurt. What if my goat chewed the copper bolus? The copper rods, even if they are chewed, are still heavier than the hay, grain, and grass they are eating. They will still sink to the bottom of their rumen to be slowly released. Copper toxicity in goats. When goats ingest copper, whether it is through the food they naturally eat or the supplements you give them, the copper will accumulate in their liver. But when they have gotten too much copper, it can be a big detriment. One sign you will see if they are toxic is reddish, brown, copper-colored urine that has a sweet smell. You can give them a shot of vitamin C when you see them showing copper toxicity. Goodbye.